Challenges.
All right, everybody. I'm not sure where all the camera goes. I know it's back here. Okay. Huh?
What do you need?
Nothing. I'm ready to start. Is everybody ready to start? Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Kara Staub, and I am the Vice President of the Gila Native Plant Society. I'm up here on behalf of our President, Donna Stevens, who is out of state right now. But I am very happy to have you all here and to have Eddie presenting for us tonight. And we're just going to cover a tiny bit of business first, and then we'll jump into what he's got and we'll go from there. So first, I want to just say thanks to some volunteers that have been doing some excellent work for us in the Gila Native Plant Society. We had a big garden party for an opening. We've been redoing our botanical garden here in town, and a lot of people came through for us last Saturday. So thanks to everybody for that. And then also we've had people swabbing their hummingbird feeders all summer for bat eDNA so that we can figure out which species of nectar feeding bats we have that come up from Mexico. And it's been an incredible project, and it relies very heavily on volunteers. So if you're interested in doing that next year, let me know, because if bat conservation continues that work, then we'll need volunteers again for that. Next Saturday, October 25th, Bat Conservation International is going to lead an agave planting up here at Boston Hill. And so we're looking for people to help dig holes and move plants around and probably haul some water up there I'm not exactly sure. I haven't ever participated in one of their plantings, but I'm just kind of guessing that that's the kind of help that they need. So if you can show up at the Cooper Street Trailhead at 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll be done by noon. And then there will be an after party starting at about 5 o'clock out at Open Space Brewery for that as a way to celebrate that good work that's getting done. Next month, we're going to have Carolyn Corey from the Forest Service talk. That is if the furlough the government shutdown does not get in the way of that. So I might be looking for a backup presentation in case the shutdown does get in the way. Right now, all the Gila National Forest employees are working, but I don't know that they will be able to continue that on. Our secretary.
Did you say they're actually working?
They are.
Government shutdown.
Yeah, they have money from last year, but that's the end of that conversation, just because we want to keep this moving. I could talk to you about it later. Our secretary, Betty Spence, has a little announcement about our board and elections for that.
Very briefly, next month.
Where is the
next meeting?
Is this the microphone? Because I want to make sure she's close to it.
I believe
This right here. Okay, come closer to that or that one or whatever. Just click on this side. Thank you, Betty.
In November, the meeting in November is our election of board members at large. As some of the members know, on even years we elect the officers, and on odd years we elect the board members at large. Nothing odd about it, but we're looking for candidates. So we're still looking for candidates. So any member who wants to know more about what being a board member at large entails, it entails a 2-year commitment, basically, starting January. So 2026 and 2027. But if anyone would like to, including people listening at home,
Which I think is so far just Dennis' husband.
Well, Dennis, so if anyone is interested in finding out more what it takes, you can always contact us at our email, which is gilanative@gmail.com. And that's for any question that you guys might have too.
Okay, thank you, Betty. Okay, so we have, in addition to our speaker tonight, Eddie Saldaña, thank you, without looking at my notes. We also have in the audience, Dr. Travis Perry. Where are you? There he is. And Dr. Perry has worked a lot with Eddie and is a true believer in Eddie and all the things that he's accomplished so far in his mission to become a wildlife conservationist. And so rather than me butchering an introduction to Eddie, I would prefer that Dr. Perry do that. So come on down here, would you, Travis, for the microphone and the camera? So if you're on this side of the table, then you'll be on the camera.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you all for coming tonight, including my students who I made come here tonight. I appreciate it. Cool.
I didn't really say who Dr. Perry was. I'm so sorry. He is with Natural Curiosity, which is a nonprofit based here in New Mexico. And their mission is essentially for conservation through education, research, and tourism, or
That'll work.
tourism or
That'll work.
something like
Yeah.
that.
And wilderness stewardship.
And wilderness stewardship. There we go. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that, Travis.
That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, again, thank you all for coming. I think it's super important for Eddie's development as a professional to have this opportunity to give a presentation on his research. So it always helps to have an audience for that. So I met Eddie through Natural Curiosity. He was working on a trail crew for Conservation Corps, New Mexico. And Natural Curiosity was facilitating Conservation Corps, New Mexico work in the Aldo Leopold Wilderness. And I would meet with that trail crew at the beginning of each of their hitches and some of their mornings. And there's this kid that's like, hey, what's this plant? What's this plant? I really like plants. Oh, do you know Bill Norris? Bill Norris is like Jesus. He's like the smartest guy. He's like, yeah. I was like, how do you know about plants? He's like, well, I took these courses with Dr. Norris, and they were like the best courses I ever took. And so this kid is like super spun up about plants and Dr. Norris. And I can tell you, in education, you don't meet too many undergraduates in any discipline that are that motivated and enthusiastic about their subject. So I took note of Eddie as a special student. That kid's going to go places, right? And I'll let him talk about it, but the short of it is, we got money to do this plant work, these plant surveys, and it is the mission of Natural Curiosity to facilitate education through research, and this was perfect. I just needed a student. My paycheck for the short time being comes from Furman University back east, but Natural Curiosity is trying to increase our involvement and provide opportunities for New Mexican academics as well as students. So Eddie fit the bill, like he checked every box. So when we got money to support a student, I immediately thought of Eddie, and he did not disappoint. I will let you know now, he's punching way above his weight with this research project. He is to be admired and commended for struggling with this material and persevering. It was awesome working with Eddie and getting to hang out with his family, who were extremely supportive, especially with the food at Hermosa. We, Natural Curiosity, this is our mission, to provide opportunities, educational opportunities and career advancement opportunities for students in the name of conservation. And so this is the culmination of this. Eddie is the first student. We've only been around since 2021. Eddie's the first student that we've been able to mentor just through our organization, do their research. And it will also contribute to his degree completion. I could talk about Eddie all night. You wouldn't believe the music this kid listens to. But I'll stop talking and let Eduardo Saldaña give his talk.
Good evening, everybody. Like Perry said, my name's Eddie, but my real name is Eduardo Saldaña. I am a senior here at Western New Mexico University. I am completing my bachelor's in forestry wildlife and pursuing a minor in criminal justice, and I will be graduating in December of this year. So yes, I am pretty excited, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Perry. Thank you for this opportunity. It was a great experience, and I'll forever be in your debt. All right, let's get started. So, like I said, my name is Eduardo Saldaña, and that is Dr. Travis Perry. We did a research project on Penstemon metcalfei, or Metcalf's penstemon, which is a really rare and cool plant of the New Mexico state. We did our research on surveying and its habitat characterization.
Hey, do you want these lights dimmed a little bit? Or are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you. So a little bit of a roadmap and what I'll be talking about today. I will be going over the background of Penstemon metcalfei, the objectives of our research, our methodology of our research, and of course the results and our conclusions of our research. So starting off, Penstemon metcalfei is an exceptionally rare plant. It is previously known from only 5 populations and disappeared from 2. Natural Curiosity Trail crew discovered the new population in 2023, and the U.S. Forest Service funded the Natural Curiosity program to survey this new population, which then allowed Natural Curiosity to fund yours truly, the WNMU student, WNMU students pursuing his future. And this was awesome, an amazing experience because it was able to complete a practicum, something for my graduation. So it was really, really awesome. So here is a map. We have Rattlesnake Canyon, which I personally surveyed with Sophie and Luca, who is not here right now. And here are the other 3 population sites. And also here is Hermosa. So this was a 7-mile hike, 2-day trip for us, which was a really awesome experience. So the questions we had, well, have the populations increased or decreased? What are the habitat characteristics of Penstemon metcalfei? And where should future survey efforts be concentrated within the Gila National Forest? So our methods for question 1 was to resurvey the 2024 populations from Rattlesnake Canyon, recount the plants, and conduct a Wilcox sign rank test. So, and here is a picture of me and Sophie recounting some plants in a cluster. Here is a map of the clusters in Rattlesnake Canyon. These numbers represent the amount of plants within each cluster. And again, here is Hermosa right here in this little star, where I resided and did my research and spent a lot of time there, 10 weeks there. So it was really fun. So yeah, this was a 7-mile hike, like I said, throughout the entire Gila National Forest and although Leopold Wilderness. So it was really fun. It was really beautiful sights, beautiful sights. Methods for our question 2 was to collect habitat data from GIS layers. Again, here's a little bit more of a zoomed in picture of the clusters and the amount of plants within each cluster. Here is looks like a bunch of gibberish. I know, I had to read that. So thankfully, Dr. Perry was able to help me out with this. This is RStudio, which is a statistical programming software. And we use this to come up with a predictive model from GIS. So here, I don't know if the front row can see it, but here is the predictive model giving all the valuable, more important variables for suitable habitat of Penstemon metcalfei. So it's pretty cool. I really love this thing, but you have to, it's a whole different language and it's pretty hard. For question 3, we place the model equation in the raster calculator to create a predictive raster. So here it's just an example, but this is kind of an example of what each layer kind of has. So yeah, we will throw this into GIS, and it'll show us all the suitable habitat or potential suitable habitat for Penstemon metcalfei. and I will show you, I think, in the next couple slides. So the results. So what did we come up with? What was the outcome of our research? Well, to answer question one, the plants have not really increased or decreased. They kind of just stay the same. With a p-value of greater than 0.5. And that kind of just indicates that it didn't really change through between 2024 and 2025. So again, here's a kind of bigger, I guess, picture of the predictive model. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of numbers and a whole bunch of different variables. But with these specific characteristics of a habitat, we could predict that Penstemon metcalfei could be there. And this was all through that crazy software that I showed you previously. To answer question 3, well, where can future efforts be surveyed and be concentrated in the Gila National Forest? Well, less than 0.01% of the Gila National Forest is suitable habitat for Penstemon metcalfei, which is a very, very small number. And it's pretty crazy when you see this. Here, this red border outline is the entire 3.5 acres.
3.5 million.
3.5 million, sorry, 3.5 million, thank you. 3.5 million acres of the Gila National Forest. Here is Hermosa. Here is all the potential suitable habitat for Penstemon metcalfei. These little red shaded area right here. There's a couple down here, but I don't know if you guys can see it with the contrast of the projector, but there is some right here. But yeah, this is all the predictive model came up with, which is a very, very, very small percentage of the Gila National Forest. I'll save questions for the end.
At the end?
Yes, yes, sir. So where should the future efforts be concentrated in? Well, definitely those hotspots. If we can get people in and research these hotspots, I feel like we could definitely find some Penstemon metcalfei. Again, like I said, this is a more zoomed in picture of that little red shaded part from right here. Here's a little bit more of a zoomed in picture. Again, all this red shading in the picture is all potential suitable habitat for Penstemon metcalfei. So again, like I said, it's a very, very small percentage of the Gila National Forest. So the conclusions, we concluded that Metcalf's Penstemon may be more widespread than we previously thought. And additionally, survey efforts should be warranted in specific habitats. And also, like I said, less than 0.01% of the Gila National Forest is suitable habitat, making the plant highly vulnerable to climate change and disturbance. Some acknowledgements. I would definitely like to thank Gila National Forest, Bat Conservation International, John Gorey of Underwing Biological LLC, Tricia Kazemi of Natural Curiosity, who was the one who actually discovered the new population in 2023, Sophia Schaefer of Natural Curiosity, Luca Odio, and Dr. Kathy Whiteman of WNMU for giving me this experience. Any questions? One more acknowledgement. I would definitely like to thank my family coming out here and supporting me. So thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir.
On that map that you showed, it looked like the entire Gila National Forest. So when I look at it, I don't know if I'm being confused here, but you're saying there's a site over here and then there's one here, but I can't tell the rough locations of where those are.
It's more in the Black Range and in the Aldo Leopold Forest, wilderness. But yeah, I think it's just a contrast from the projector. But yeah, there is some down here.
That's in the Black Range, but what's that over there? That's not in the Black Range.
It's in the Aldo Leopold Forest, wilderness.
No.
It can't be.
Or
It should be-
Or
That looks like it's close to Silver City.
Yes, sir.
That's like.
Eddie, would you like a life preserver?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with the map. I'm so sorry for that, y'all.
Okay. That's okay. So this is a map of predicted habitat, not where the plants actually occur.
Yeah.
But they have a high probability of occurring there based on the modeling of the habitats where they do occur. So the model predicts that over here in the Gila, some of these higher elevations, there's suitable habitat, at least that meets those criteria. But most of the high probability habitat predicted by the model is over here in the Black Range. But there is some over here west of Silver City.
What are some of the locations there?
This is a geographical reference there.
Right about there.
Yeah, but.
I have no,
You think you can't see it?
I know.
Can't see it.
Is Silver City on the map? If you could point to it, maybe that would help give some direct.
So
Well, I was
So
just curious.
here's the highway 180, is either here or,
Yeah, what
I bet it's down, is Silver down here,
I think so.
right in here?
maybe that's Bayard, isn't it? I think that's
Yeah,
Bayard.
so Silver would be.
Yeah, Silver be right there.
So that's like in the
Reserve.
reserve.
No, it looks like it's in the Mogollons.
Mogollon.
Yeah. It's in Mogollons. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I really want to know.
Yeah.
Sorry
I
about that.
don't know where it is, but
Yeah.
I know that's not the Black Range. So
No, that's
that's
these.
over there, so it would be the Muggy. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And incidentally, just I'll just take a look.
Go ahead.
This zoomed in map. So this is Diamond Peak. So this is on the Continental Divide in the Black Range as well. And so Hermosa would be about here. Right. So Eddie's survey sites were just south, just right about here. Actually, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Any more questions? Best as I can. Yes, sir.
I don't work with plants. I was just wondering what a cluster is considered.
So a cluster could be considered just like a grouping of plants, I guess you can say. We are actually trying to figure out, there's very little known about these plants. So what we want to do, or what I suggested, is doing some genetic research and potentially seeing if it's colonial or if it's not colonial. Because that'll be a big impact on kind of that and determining like whether the clusters are related or if they're just a clone of each other kind of thing. So yeah, so a cluster is basically just like a group of plants together.
Do you have like a certain area that they occur in that you measure out?
We didn't really measure that out, but I mean, what we noticed was that they were specifically on the trail of Rattlesnake Canyon. So if you go up Rattlesnake Canyon all the way up to the saddle and past that little saddle up there, I'm pretty sure all you guys of the Natural Curiosity know what I'm talking about. I can't remember exactly where it's on the map, but it's right on along the trail on really steep, like 45 to 42 degree angle slopes. And it's not even like maybe feet away. There are some areas that are quite out there where we have to go through some New Mexico locusts to get to. So you guys know how painful that could have been. But yeah, but primarily there was no really anywhere long distance where we had to go. It was primarily just on the trail.
Yeah, and what elevation did they begin at?
About 10,000 feet in elevation. About, I would say between 8 to 9. 8 to 9, actually. That would be a better answer. I just said 10,000 because I remember looking at an elevation thing and seeing 10,000 feet. So that's what I remember, but I think that was like our highest point. So, yes, Sophie.
Could you describe some of the characteristics of the specific habitat that this
Yeah, of course.
exists in and potentially might exist?
Let me go to that slide really quick.
And then while you're over there, can you stay closer to where you are right now so that maybe the people in Zoom can hear you better because you're closer to the mic?
Yeah, of course.
And the camera.
Okay,
Thank you.
no worries. So what our raster model came up with was for Penstemon metcalfei to actually be suitable in a specific habitat, it needs these particular important variables. It needs a high elevation. Whenever I say higher elevation, it practically means about the 8 to 9,000 feet, because that's where we usually found them. Northern aspect, what a northern aspect is basically where the slope kind of hangs. So say if what are we? I'm losing my sense of direction right now. North is that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the slope is this way, the Penstemon are gonna be facing the north side of a mountain kind of thing. Moderate slope is kind of like I said, the degree of the slope, so how much of an incline it has. Moderate slope, I mean, like I said, it was whenever we measured it, it was about between a 45 to 42, within the 40 within the 40s of angle. Lower solar gain. This is another great characteristics that kind of like really determined its predictability. So like I said, with the northern aspect, it gets very little sun. So with very little sun, it's actually able to I guess grow a lot better, I guess you could say. So yeah, just needs not a lot of sun, but enough sun to be able to do what it needs to do. You know what I mean? And then higher topographic ruggedness, that just means the ruggedness of the terrain. So it needs kind of like a rocky kind of base, but with definitely a lot of soil. So it needs like that smooth, nice, soft soil, but with that rocky kind of base. So, or a structure base, I guess you could say. So yeah. Yes, ma'am.
The Gila, and especially the Black Range, is very large. How did you decide exactly where it was you were going to survey?
From
Can you
the,
repeat the question because she's so far back?
so what was your question again, just to make sure I'm getting it right?
How did you decide exactly where you wanted to survey?
How did I decide where I wanted to survey? Right, okay. So what I decided was not only for myself personally, but I also took two other people with me, which was Sophie and Luca, who was another research student at Hermosa at the time. What we decided, or what I primarily decided, is just the closeness of the plant, and also where previous survey efforts were done. So I mean, what we determined between me and Perry was looking at all the plots, all the surveys that John Gorey did, and just basically, all right, which plot has the most plants, and where can we do the best amount of counting? Because I mean, with what we didn't really give us a good estimate, like a really good accurate estimate. If we were to definitely stay out for more than a day or two and do all the plots, it would definitely be a little bit better of a result. But with time management and rain and weather and all that, definitely put into account. So that's why we decided to just do Rattlesnake, because it had the closest proximity to Hermosa and quite of the most more plants. So yeah, that's how we decided. And then I saw Bill had a question.
Yeah, so when you're in these populations, Eddie, these plants, they all have flowers on them, or a lot of them vegetative with no flowers, with.
Okay, great question. So
Then I have I have lots of questions, I'm not gonna.
So this picture, let me find it again. So this picture here was actually taken by me personally. I actually got down and dirty on my knees, taking this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures I think I have ever taken as a photographer. Just because this was actually with my DSLR camera. So yeah. Let me tell you, it took a lot of time and precious protection between me, Sophie, and Luca to protect that camera. But no, yeah, so this was most of the plants that we surveyed were definitely in bloom. And this was, I think, when did we go? In July? Late July, right? Late July, like July 29th, I think it was, where we went and did our survey. So, and then as far as other vegetation around it, we did find a lot of Gamble's oak, a lot of, I think, yarrow, and some relative Penstemon kind of near it. On the lower elevations, though, we found a lot of relative Penstemon. I think it was Penstemon barbatus. Yes, that one. I couldn't remember the common name. I remember the scientific name though. Penstemon barbatus, we did find that a lot near McAfee. So, but that was a lot in the mid to low elevations. And then there was a lot of other plants that I may not be remembered because of my stutter brain, but there were definitely a lot of Gamble's oak.
First when you get older.
There was definitely a lot of Gamble's oak, New Mexico locust, yarrow, and Penstemon barbatus. That's what I remember specifically. And then I don't know, Sophie, do you remember any specific ones that I did not mention?
That kind of gray silver.
Was it a
green.
fern?
It wasn't a fern, it looked more like a wart of something. Not a wart or
I
something.
couldn't remember.
We were really ideal.
Yeah, but yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, but like I said, I couldn't scatterbrain over here. Any more questions? Oh gosh. Jody.
Did anybody stone me? Why does this plant matter? Like, why is it important or are we studying it?
So that's a great question. I love that you brought that up. So to the the US Fish and Wildlife Service and New Mexico, this is a species of concern. And from NatureServe, this is a S1 rank, considered to be an S1 rank plant, which is, give me a minute, I remember might have to tag you in, give me a minute. I'm tagging you in. Critically imperiled plant. So this is not really a federally protected endangered, like it's not really endangered species, but it's definitely rare. And to many plant lovers, this is a really incredible plant and I think it's beautiful. So, and there's just not a lot known about it. So like I said, whenever I wanted to do, or I suggested to do DNA research and genetic research, that is one of the things that we don't know about this plant. So why is it important? What is it doing for the ecosystem within its habitat? What makes it living and what is it doing for its habitat around it? You know what I mean? Because I mean, a lot of plants serve purpose in its ecosystem. So what's the purpose of Penstemon metcalfei? And that's what I guess myself and Perry would love to know. And that's where I did a lot of my research. But like I said, this is a very well-known plant that we don't know very much about. So that's why we want to research it. And scientists being scientists, we want to do something about conservation and stuff like that, especially being it losing habitat due to fires, climate change, stuff like that. So yes, I hope that answers your question. Nikki?
Is it anywhere else besides New Mexico?
No, this is endemic to only New Mexico and the Black Range specifically. And of course, the predictive models showing either what do we say, the Mogollons, right? Possibly the Mogollons, but yes, it is endemic to New Mexico.
Any animal like it?
That is another thing we don't know. So we don't know, like I previously said, we want to do some genetic research on it to see if it's a colonial or do insect species reproduce it, or like do what insects can happens or they use for its reproductive cycle. So that's something that we don't know, we want to learn. And that's something that we did try to do whenever we did our survey, was to see if any insects were either having eggs on it, near it, on it, anything. But as far as we knew, we didn't see anything, right? So we saw one beetle, but we could not ID it.
It was a type of rose beetle.
Rose
See them
beetle.
very frequently on flowers and things.
So that's something that we might want to look into as well. So, yes.
What is kind of like the duration of its lifespan? Like, do you guys have a predicted type of how long it actually is living or it survives?
Great question. We don't know. That's what's crazy, is that we don't know a lot about this plant. So that's why I would love to pursue this research. I would love to be the one who finds those things out. I fell in love with this plant ever since I saw it. Ever since I saw a picture of it, I've been in love with it. So, so yeah, I mean, A, it's my favorite color, and B, it's just a beautiful plant. You know what I mean? So yeah, that we don't know. Yes, sir.
I used to work for Gila National Forest and a botanist. So I'm all familiar with this plant from a couple of years ago. And from the studies that I reviewed, the previous state botanist, Daniela Roth, went looking for the population. There were 5 of them originally, as you indicated. 2 of them have been lost, I think.
Yeah, due to the 2013 silver fire.
Yeah, the 2013 silver fire. So if there was only 5 populations and 2 of them are wiped out, that's not very many. I mean, you could literally make a case for this being a federally listed species. There's just not enough information.
Yep. So that's why we want to do.
And I might add, by the way, just
go ahead.
Just for the heck of it, but I remember reading Daniela Roth's report of her effort to go look for these. And she gave up, and that was pretty unusual for her. She was one hell of a trooper.
I think her last paper was in 2021, right? So I think I did a little bit of research of Daniela Roth.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Oh, good
For my,
you.
yeah, for our
Because I
research paper.
remember she didn't go after two of those populations.
Mhm.
And once, I think one was because she ran into a bear and rattlesnake and there was a, you know, and it's extremely difficult to get to them, right?
Yes, extremely difficult, extremely difficult, but.
This is on the extreme.
But I think that you mentioned Daniela Roth. I think she was the one who did North Percha and Mineral. If I'm not mistaken, I think whenever I was reading her paper, I think she was the one who went to the North Percha and Mineral populations, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, though.
I thought those were the two she couldn't
Yeah.
get to,
Oh, I
but I don't remember. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Don't quote me, though. Don't quote me. Yes.
So does the flower always bloom or does it die in the winter and bloom in the summer, spring, like, or is it a constant flower?
So, great question. Again, I'm gonna say I don't know. But from what we can tell in late July was that there was a lot of flowering compared to a lot of dead plants. And the ones that were primarily dead were either on the trail or right near the trail. That's what I kind of noticed and stuff like that. I think if I'm not wrong, there is one dead one in this picture, but I could be wrong. If not, maybe in the other one. But I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, especially only going once in July in the dead of summer. So we I can't really say anything about its I guess.
So we know
flower.
like summer.
Yes.
Just to add a little bit to that, so I think our trail crew, Tricia, I think actually found it in April.
Okay.
And then like Eddie's resurvey was in bloom in July. I think John's surveys were in early September and it was in bloom. And then we saw it again the last week of September. We walked that rattlesnake trail and last week of September, it was still in bloom.
Wow.
So it. At least,
Wow.
At least,
Okay.
well,
I did not know that.
we've seen at least April to almost October.
All right. Any more questions? Yes, you the blue bandana.
When was the plant discovered?
Long time ago.
But I had a specific date because I wanted to show that off, but I don't remember the
I'm
date
just wondering,
specifically.
like, is there a reason that not much research has been done on this plant? Why we don't know a lot of it?
I could say that we can't find it because it's exceptionally rare. Funding and the terrain. The terrain is really, really rough getting to it. 'Cause I mean, you're on rocky mountain slopes going up 25-degree angle slopes, and it's not fun. Especially all wet and muddy. So
Here.
so yeah, I think that's why. But again, I mean, I think I could do it. I know I could do it. So I would love to do more stuff on it. And I mean, we're still continuing. Me and Perry are still continuing doing research on this. So
Does it mean that when it was first discovered, the population was already that low? Okay,
yeah, about.
thank you.
So we got Betty and Jonathan over here too. That
I think there's one more in the back, but I'll get Betty first and then you in the back. Okay?
I was just wondering, was the beetle the only insect you saw in there? Did you see any that looked like they were pollinating?
We didn't see any either
Huh.
flying insects or crawling insects. We didn't really see anything besides that one beetle. Or did you guys see something different?
No, I was just gonna add that it was an overcast for a day,
Mhm.
and that could have impacted.
And it just had rained the night before, so that could have impacted a lot about it too. And then back there, yes.
Do any other species of Penstemon have any medicinal purpose?
See, a great question. I don't know about Penstemon barbatus, but who knows? I don't think this one you can eat, right, Perry? 'Cause I remember you telling me like cause I was like, I'm gonna eat it. And you're like, no, let's not do that.
It's not a great way to do field botany. If I'm not mistaken, there are some secondary compounds in some other Penstemon species that are bioactive. I think they have some low degree of toxicity. Bill would probably know much better. But
Bear Creek Herds, now Conigsburg, there's a tremendous, now, those of you from Silver City, there's a tremendous community of ethnobotanists here in town. And if you go downtown and find out about this, it's not just her. I don't have to answer that question. Maybe there's some people in class in this room here who do.
I don't know of any medicinal traits, but I know that there are some bioactive compounds that I think may have some mild toxicity if ingested. So, that's all.
And I think you had a question as well, sir? Or did I miss that? Oh, over here? Okay, yes, sorry.
So that habitat model was based only on Rattlesnake Canyon.
Primarily, yes, and the other plots that we had already, that John Gorey had already surveyed and everything. So it was primarily through Rattlesnake, but it was also considering all the other 18 plots, I think, right? 18?
In the other canyons.
Right. I can add a little clarification.
Yes,
The model was based just on the plants in Rattlesnake Canyon.
yes,
On those clusters. And we purposefully left the other 3 populations out of the model building to see if the model would correctly predict the location. of
Yes,
the
okay.
plants. And it did.
yes,
So all the places it's found that we know of fits the model.
fits the model. Primarily, like almost to the minute detail.
Might be useful to do is to go up and check seed set.
Seed set?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, just, is it getting pollinated and producing seed?
yeah, okay,
You could find out if it's rhizomatous also, if it's, clonal, just by,
true.
you could just do a little excavating carefully.
Yeah,
See it run.
I just personally just didn't want to damage the plant. I know what you mean. Yeah, but so it's a great idea, actually.
I feel like a master.
I'm gonna check the chat for more questions.
ahead.
Go ahead and
Yes.
keep asking.
Any more questions? Yes, Bill.
Hey, you're graduating in December. It's gonna be a big celebration. Good food, it sounds like. Yeah. So can you look beyond graduation? You obviously, you've got the passion for this. I just heard Nikki. Yeah, that was going through my head. This sounds like a master's project here,
Yeah.
supervised by Dr. Perry or. What's
Or
yeah,
Bill.
well, what's the plan here, Eddie?
Or Bill.
Man.
I mean, I think so. I think I could definitely put it into my head, definitely. The only thing is if you guys are up for it. That's the real question. I know Perry is, but maybe both
Yeah,
of
we
you.
can talk a little bit about that after. Yeah,
Cool,
you definitely, you've got the passion, that's obvious.
cool.
Okay, so we do have questions online, and it's from Mary, and
I can't remember.
I wanna go ahead and just unmute her.
President Presenter's gotten this many questions. I don't know where this young man out.
Oh, that's fine.
oh, it is? Oh, okay, do you want to unmute her? Let's see,
Oh,
or do you just want to take her questions the way that?
let
they are?
me, what are your questions? Is your question?
Oh, I don't even see her on though.
Go back to chat.
Yeah, the question. Chat.
It says for.
Okay, so what are the characteristics of suitable habitat? So I did go over that in this real quick. All right. Oh,
Yeah, you might have to click
there
back.
we go. Go back to that. So here are the suitable character, is it showing on the like?
It should be, yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's still screen sharing.
So like I said, these are the suitable habitat characteristics. Sorry, y'all, that's my grandmother who's asking. So she joined in on the Zoom. But yeah, so these are the suitable characteristics, and then what other penstemons can this one be confused with? Not very many, honestly. I think there's one, what's it called? It's not Barbados. Barbados is orange.
Orange red.
Yeah, orangish
The
red.
ways describe the habitat, I mean, there's ones, the lower elevations, one's Penstemon virgatus and Fenleri.
Yeah. Fenleri is is it the same color? I can't remember.
Flowers roughly.
Yeah.
Dr. Kleiman were here, but this, when you look at that picture there, a lot of those purple flowers, yeah, but there's 6,000.
What about-
feet here.
Alleganthus.
It can be, but I don't remember that name specifically. I just remember Fenleri. I don't remember Elecanthus. I might have to look look into that though.
There's like, Jim, how many Penstemon or anybody, how many Penstemon species are there in this state? There's a lot,
And there's a lot of,
dozens.
Very few.
But there are- But
I don't know how many, 30 maybe. Take a wild stab at it, but.
But to answer this question, I can see where there could be confusion though, because there are some flowering plants that are about the same size. And I don't remember the exact name of them, but there are some flowering plants that look kind of similar to Penstemon McAfee that are also in lower elevations and can show up in kind of flatlands and stuff like that, or a lot lower elevations. So yeah, there are definitely some that can be confused with. So, but yeah, that's basically is there's one plant or couple plants that have the same colorization and the same kind of characteristics of the plant, but they are definitely not, because they are not in the right elevation, not in the right slope, and stuff like that. So yeah. Any more questions? Going once, going twice, sold. All right, now.
That was excellent, and I don't know what you were thinking you were nervous about, or what Travis thought you were nervous, but you did a spectacular job.
Well, thank you.
It's incredible to see all the support from your family here.
Yes.
From to see your grandma. And, so we have some treats outside in the hallway. Everybody please join us out there. And I guess that's it. That concludes our program.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
This excellent.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, it might be confused with maybe canning kind of stuff.